Okay, so the saga of the SBC Maker K1 continues. If you guys have been following along my videos, you know that I finally did the review on this one after they sent me a new frame. This is actually the second frame. The first one looked like this, and you see the front arms are swept back, and in the new version it's more of a H-style, more traditional H-style, X-style, where the front arms are going forward. And I was still having Jello problems with the RunCam Split Mini V2. Obviously with the new frame design. So they're like, well, maybe it's got a defective lens, which is what I thought as well. So they sent me a new lens, and that did help quite a bit. I had way more Jello before, but I still had, as you saw in the review video, still a little bit of Jello from this lens. And I can tell you now, based on a lot of replacing of these lenses, I've replaced probably out of all of the Split Mini V2s and V1s that I've had that have had issues, I've probably replaced about 6 or 7 of them by now. So I'm pretty sure that this lens, this M8 lens here, is a flawed design, and SBC Maker, I think, is also thinking that as well. So they, and perhaps RunCam as well, RunCam has switched their design to this new lens here, in case this is the M12 lens. And you saw this one here. This is on the video for the random parts quad with the RunCam Split 2S, I think, or the S2S, or yeah, I think it was a 2S. That was a 30x30 board. Obviously the Mini is a 20x20 board, and you can see here, obviously the M12 lens is bigger. And I think because of I'm sure SBC Makers had a lot of returns and complaints from customers about the M8 lens being very Jello laden, so they've actually gone to the trouble. They're actually changing all of their designs to include the new version of the Split Mini V2. So I don't know why they're still calling it the V2. They should call this the V3, because essentially this sensor unit, well, I think the sensor unit is the same. So basically you got the ribbon cable, the sensor unit, and the control board, which is the 20x20 board. It's just basically the case, and the M12 lens is different, so maybe call it the 2.1, because people are confused as to which is which. And also, I know people are still selling this one. I know that GearBest was still selling the one with the M8, and they told me that they're not going to be selling the one with the M12 until all of their stock is gone. So, which is kind of, I think they should just, RunCam should just do a recall and get rid of all these ones with the M8, because they've been, I know that they've been swapping these out for a lot of people. Because if you even, like, say if you have a good one, a good M8 lens, if you crash, the inside this lens here are multiple pieces of are optical, I guess, other pieces of glass that actually do the focusing, and something in there gets jarred loose, whatever, then all of a sudden you have Jello. So I don't know anything about whether the longevity or the crash durability of the M12 lens. I know that this is bigger, so I mean, with bigger parts and everything, especially like the little pieces of plastic holding the lens pieces inside, it ought to be a little bit more Jello resistant. At least that's my hope. It did seem like this one didn't have very much in terms of Jello from the video on the random parts quad that I did last week. So we'll see. I mean, time will tell. I'm hoping that this is actually a better design. And yeah, if you have any of these, or think about getting the one with the M8, don't get those. Wait until you get the one with the M12. I also know that for the diatones that have the HD, and there's also I think T-Motor is making one with the Split Mini V2 as well. There may be some delays or whatever. I think they're going to be changing out the camera or the lens because of all the Jello issues. I mean, I know that some people do get good ones with a good lens and they're fine. You can see there's definitely some of those builds that have Jello-free video because they have a good lens, but I've also seen a lot of ones with Jello problems like me. And I know that there's enough of it so that it's a real problem. It's not my imagination. But in any event, yeah, as I said, SBC Maker is switching over their designs to, or their frame designs to accommodate the new lens, because you can see that this M12 lens isn't going to fit in here because the standoffs are too close. So they redesigned the K1 frame here. Basically, I think these two standoffs are further apart here on the top and on the bottom plate here. So I think that's really the only difference in the way the design looks, to me at least. I don't think there's going to be any difference in weight, and it's the same thickness and carbon and everything like that. It's just that they've increased the space of these standoffs in the front here so that it will accommodate the space for that lens. I don't think that there's going to be any more space for the props though, although I kind of was hoping that they would change that. It doesn't look like, yeah, it looks like that's the same. So it's just basically a change in the frame to accommodate the new case and the M12 lens. But anyway, I just wanted to give you an update on my video on RunCam Split Mini Jello, and this is, I think, ultimately, where they're going to need to take the product is get rid of all the ones with the M8 lens and just go with the M12 lens. Like, this is going to be better. I'll have another video with, I guess, flight footage from this once I tear this all apart and put this back together with the M12 lens, and that'll be a separate video. But this is just an addendum, a follow-up video to my Split Mini Jello video. I just want to give you an idea of where things are going progress-wise. And you know, like I posted a video a few days ago, I think. It was yesterday, maybe. It was on just like a FPV freestyle flight, just kind of a chill flight, relaxing flight. And that one has a Split Mini V2 in it. It's the Airblade Intrepid V2 2.5 inch frame. And everyone was like, well, there's no Jello in that one. That's because that's the third lens in that camera. So that camera has been through 2 lens changes because of all the Jello problems. And even that one is, you know, not completely Jello free. It's probably one of the better ones. I do have a couple other Split Mini with better lenses than that one even, that have almost no Jello at all. But yeah, basically the bottom line is, if you have Jello issues, look at your lens. Or switch out the, perhaps look into getting to the updated case and camera. Hopefully that they'll be able to sell these, the case and the lens separately. I'm pretty sure the sensor and the ribbon cable is the same. So if they can just change the case or sell those, then I think you should be good on in terms of solving your Jello issues if you swapped out the M8 lens and you still have Jello. So enough of me rambling on about this. I've said my piece on this, and hopefully you guys have the information you need to make the right decision on where you want to go with your RunCam Split Mini Jello. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.